गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री Gurave Namaha. We are in Vivek Chudamani and we have to start from verse 570 and we are looking at the final advice by Adi Shankaracharya to the disciple, and in the last verse that we saw in 569th verse, सदात्मैकत्व विज्ञानाद दग्धा विद्यादि वर्ष्मणः अमुष्य ब्रह्मभूतत्वाद ब्रह्मण कुद उद्भवः. The conditioning of the body, etc., which are born out of ignorance, having burned in the fire of knowledge of identity between the individual self and the absolute self, the knower of Brahman becomes Brahman itself. Therefore, how can there be a birth of Brahman? So, these conditionings which are born out of ignorance, this is for a very important point to understand here is we are talking about the ignorance. Another word for ignorance is non-apprehension, forgetfulness of the reality. Then the result of that is projection, misapprehension. And what is the projection of? The conditioning, space, time and objectivity. Then when space, time and objectivity comes, then the whole cosmos as you see it, that whole thing comes about. This is in the waking state. There is another cosmos in the dream state. So three worlds come about: waking, dream and deep sleep, the absence of the two. Now for who is this? This is told. This whole sequence of creation, that this creation which I am experiencing, I feel it is real. I feel I was born. I see people dying. I see through my experience the world through my senses. I know that I have got a mind. See? And to this person, that he who is identified with the conditionings, to this person, these instructions are being given. We must not confuse the standpoint. There is, at times, the teacher, Adi Shankaracharya, takes the highest standpoint. He will come. He has already taken it, where, for example, talked about Prajnana Ghana and Avinashi, and then Sadatmani, then so many words he used, Swayam Rasa, or and so on. And so many words were used before which were indicating that which cannot be indicated. This is the conundrum. But here we are not talking about, we are not looking top down. Because when you look from top down, what is there? Tell someone. When you look top down, what will be there?
All the self, the Paramatma.
There will be only the self, yes. And because there is only one, then there is no communication required. There is no words required. There is no association. There is no dialogue. Because from the absolute standpoint, there is only one without a second. So when we are talking about ignorance, when we are talking about conditionings, projection, ego, individuality, and before we talked about the destiny, the prarabdha, we talked about the purification of the mind or the intellect. All this is not being told to the absolute. It is only being told to the one who is identified with the body, who is seeking liberation. Okay, we should say it this way. It is only being told, this guidance is only for the one who is seeking liberation. See? So that he does not fall back into the trap again. Because that trap is where? Where is that trap? Where is the trap of conditioning?
In the mind.
In the mind. And where is the mind?
The body.
This is the tricky question. If we can make it tricky, actually it is not. Mind, where is mind? It is existing in its own absence.
Absence. Phenomena.
It's a phenomena. Actually, what is there? Only pure consciousness. Where is the wave?
In the water.
Existing? No, it is existing in its own absence.
Absence, yes.
But can absence express? Can the phenomena express without the substratum? No.
No.
So the water is the substratum there. Similarly, this mind with thoughts is nothing but consciousness. But our attention gets hijacked by the thoughts. Gets hijacked. And what are the thoughts? The first thought. And why did the thought come about? Why did the variety come about? From Advait point of view, it actually never did. But yet it is there now for the individual. So why did it come about? Because I have forgotten myself. That's why. I have forgotten my essential nature. And I got attracted to the name and form. And from that very moment, when I accepted a form, or I desired a form, or I accepted that this is my form, only then the drama begins. And so when he says here, the conditioning of the body, etc., which are born out of ignorance, having burnt in the fire of knowledge of identity. And what is that fire? How is that fire generated? How is that fire invoked? When the individual contemplates on the infinite. Uddharet atmana atmanam. I think we talked about this last week. Raise yourself by yourself in yourself. Uddharet atmana atmanam natmanam avasadhet. Do not take support of anything other than the self. And when we say, yeah, I am raising myself, aham brahmasmi, but we have taken the support of thoughts. And thoughts are limited. Thoughts are a product of conditioning. Thoughts are anatma. Thoughts are not self. From absolute self point of view, everything is self. But this instruction is not being given to the absolute. This instruction is being given to the individual. See? So thoughts are also, if I am using the thoughts and getting lost in the thoughts, and I'm getting lost in the understanding, I'm getting lost in the conviction, all that is required, no doubt. But if I am holding on to the crutch, like the small kid when he's learning to walk, we give him the three, he stands and he keeps walking. And then after he's grown up still, no, come on, let's go for a walk. No, where is my stroller? I need to hold it. No. The crutch has to be given up. The support has to be given up. So we are not against we are not against thoughts. Neither we are for the thoughts. It's a phenomena. Individual is a product of the phenomena. He needs to use the phenomena in order to transcend. So he is using the thoughts. But his attention while the thoughts are being processed or he's contemplating, he's taking the support of the thoughts, his attention should be uddharet atmana atmanam. He must raise himself by himself, raise the self by the self, in the self. Okay. So this slight correction, here is the word of advice. And last week, as given in Amrit Anubhav, how long will this fire continue? How long? Many times you will slip, many times you will fall, many times you will not be able to do Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. Again you will take the support of fire, the thought. And how long will this continue? And till we don't come to abide. How long do we think of sleep? Till we don't merge into sleep. Till then we keep thinking. But in this, as we are thinking, see how gentle and effortless. You can't even feel the heat of the fire when you are contemplating on sleep and the entire world vanishes out of your mind. Are you on fire when you are contemplating on sleep? It's gentle, it's effortless, it's a glide. How come when it comes to abide in the self, we make it into a journey with so much friction? And that friction is the fire. Friction generates fire. I am not ready to let go of individuality and accept myself as the infinity. Even though the scriptures have said, yes, I am contemplating on the infinite, and I continue to remain as the contemplator and never ready, never allowing myself to glide into, merge into, or become empty. Enough means of the last thought also, of the contemplation, so that that reality can embrace me, can reveal from, because my nature is reality. See? So just like a camphor, this example came in the Amrit Anubhav. How long will the camphor burn? As long as the camphor is there. Once the camphor has been completely utilized and got converted into the fire, when the camphor finishes, the fire also goes off. That camphor is the individuality. How long will the individuality continue to burn? To contemplate. Contemplation is burning. Heat is generated. Focus is generated. A goal is kept in front. What is the goal? The absolute self. How long will it continue? Till the individual does not melt completely, dissolve completely, get used up completely, exhaust completely. And this happens every night when you go to sleep. Until unless the waker does not dissolve completely, sleep will not begin. Isn't it? How difficult is it to understand that? Same thing we have to do wakefully. Don't go to sleep. That's what we are not able to do. That's why the fire is generated. Because you are resisting it. Our problem is we want to remain an individual and we want realization also. That is not possible. Just like we experience everything in this world. This is a computer, this is Martha, this is the camera, now it is night. Everything is being experienced. We want to experience the self, or absolute self also the same way. It is not possible. It cannot be an objective experience. And when this happens, when the merging happens, when the dissolution happens, when the camphor of individuality in that fire of contemplation on the absolute self, when it burns away completely, exhausts completely, then Brahman becomes Brahman itself. Brahman Brahmaiva Bhavati. Brahman is Brahman alone. The language says Brahman becomes Brahman. Water becomes water. What a stupid statement. Water is always water. How can water become water? If something else, if ice is becoming water, we can use that statement. Ice became water. But how can water become water? Gold became gold? We can't say that. But that is the way the language is used, so that no iota of doubt remains in our intellect as to that there is something else apart from Brahman which is experiencing Brahman. That is why that language is used. Thereafter, how can there be a birth of Brahman? And once that has happened, then thereafter, from that moment onwards, no rebirth for such a person. He's a Jivan Mukta Purusha. He is liberated by. Now, again, this language is being told to the individuals, to the seekers. He is a person who is liberated while living. Swamiji was telling one story. In that one, Mahatma Ji was there, and he was well versed in Vedanta. He absolutely no family, nothing, living only on alms, only Vedanta satsang, no, always moving around along the Ganges. And one day, he was around 90 years old. And one day he was going in the train. He caught one person. Can you help me to get down? Got down. You have some time? 2 minutes? 5 minutes? Yeah, okay. Please take this book. Can you read this part from the Ramayana? And he read from the Ramayana. There only 90 plus years. On the platform, he put his angocha, the cloth that is on his shoulders, he put it on the ground, sat on it, and he said, okay, now start reading what is there in the story. And he sat down, and 5 minutes later, he left his body. We want to produce sons who can light our pyre, Otherwise, I have lived my life, wasted my life as a parent. Other Mahatmas, other Siddhas, they make their samadhis for people to come and pray. That may be the divine will. We are not here to judge them. But how can they know Brahman? If they are Brahman, no, I should not judge anyway. my mind is thinking that if you are building your samadhi and deciding this is the place I need to be buried, that means you are thinking you are still the body. But when I think of Shirdi Sai Baba, he said that. When I think of what is that place where you come from? Kadapa, Darga Swami. Darga Swami, he decided his samadhi. So we are not able to judge, because maybe it's the divine will which is expressing in that manner through them for the benefit of the people, for the benefit of the seekers. Because there in the world there are people required. Some support is required by the people. And so it must be happening. We can't work that out. But here, one thing is for sure, that like Satya Sai Baba says, I was the Shirdi Sai Baba in previous life. In this life, I am the Satya Sai Baba. And in the next life, I will be Prem Sai. He's already given the date of birth and date of where he is going to be born. And in 1997, his mother was born, going to be mother. That time we were studying, and there was such a celebration of mother of someone, father maybe, in the Mandya district of Kerala. But we cannot work that out. How can it be? He's supposed to be a realized master. How is this? Leela is going on. Phenomena will continue. But for him, even though he is saying I will be born again, he is very clear. See, if a realized master is there, if you say, will you be hungry tomorrow? Yes, if the body is there, I will be hungry. Hunger will come. In 5 minutes from now, will you see? Yes, if the eyes are there, vision will be there. Forms will be seen. Then what is the difference between us and those masters? There is no seer. There is no experiencer. Everything is going on just like us. In us, there is a person, there is this, our I is owning every experience, and thus it becomes gets identified with it. Whereas in great masters, realized masters, there is no identification. Now, very difficult to understand. Right now, wherever you are sitting, so many things are in the room. So many things are there in the room. But are you owning them? No. Are you experiencing them? No. But you know they are there. So there is no ownership, there is no identification with the phenomena that is taking place. This is the disposition of the master, because he is with that one absolute truth forever and ever and ever. Now today, 570th verse, Maya kluptau bandha mokshau माया क्लृप्तौ बन्धमोक्षौ नस्तस्वात्मनि वस्तुतः नस्तस्वात्मनि वस्तुतः यथा रज्जौ निष्क्रियायां सर्पाभासविनिर्गमौ माया क्लृप्तौ बन्धमोक्षौ नस्तस्वात्मनि वस्तुतः यथा रज्जौ निष्क्रियायां सर्पाभासविनिर्गमौ. Bondage and liberation are created by Maya. Eventually, they are nowhere in the self. It is like the appearance of the snake vision in the inert rope is a delusion alone, not in reality. I think we did this verse, no, last week? Or maybe it was in the other class. So, bondage and liberation are created by Maya. Bondage and liberation are only, these are two concepts only for the individual. That I am in bondage on account of the space-time objectivity. And I want liberation, and liberation will be freedom from the conditioning of space-time and objectivity. See? And eventually they are nowhere in the self. So, if Maya itself is a phenomena, and what did we say phenomena was? That which exists in its own absence. Like a shadow. Shadow is a phenomena. So is this individual. Individuality is a phenomena. So, if the shadow falls on the water, does it become wet? No. If the shadow falls on the fire, does it burn? No. If the truck goes on the shadow, does it get flattened or does it die? No. But what do we consider ourselves to be? If I go into the water, I'll get wet. If I get into the fire, I'll burn. If a tire goes over me, I will die. So they do the yoga sadhana. 4 fires around and sun in the top. And they become so powerful that the fire is not able to burn them. Then they do sadhana for years and years so that they can walk on water. Yes, you can get the siddhis, but you're still in the world. We need to transcend the world. So when he says eventually they are nowhere in the self, nasta swatmani vastutaha. In the essential self, in the transcendental self, in the absolute self, in the Brahman, there is nothing called bondage and liberation. Because from the absolute point, there is no phenomena. Because if the absolute self says there is phenomena, then there will be two. But the absolute is one without a second. Understand this. And this is what we need to sort out in our head. And come to a point, enough, I can't work it out. And please reveal. Enough. But we have to exhaust our thinking. For that you read Panchadashi. All logic is taken care of. Maybe we'll start that again sometime. So then yatha rajo nishkriyayam sarpa bhasa vinirgamau. Just like it is like the appearance of the snake vision on the inert rope is a delusion alone. This example comes in the script, in the Upanishads. This example comes in Panchadashi. Many places it comes. A person experiences the snake, is walking, and suddenly he steps on something. There the example taken is the rope or the stick or a crack on the in the earth, three ways. And he feels, because he did not recognize the thing as a thing, he did not recognize the rope as a rope. Nowadays ropes in Australia, they are designed also like snake only. And at night if you go and step on it and suddenly it comes and attack. This fellow thought he has been bitten by a snake and he starts frothing from the mouth. His leg goes blue-black and he's screaming away. Hearing his scream, someone comes by and says, "What happened?" "Oh, the snake bit me." "Where's the snake?" "See, here it is." Still it is not going away. Even when I am shooing it away. He looks at him, smiles. Because the other person sees that it is only a rope. And when he says, "Hey, it is only a rope, it is not a snake." "No, how can it be?" Then he lifts the rope and says, "See, it is a rope." And suddenly something shifts in this miserable guy who has been bitten by the snake, who's feeling he's dying. One moment he was ready to die, he was having the pangs of all the snake bite, symptoms of snake bite. Next moment everything becomes normal. See? Now where has the snake gone? Where has the snake gone? Has it gone back to the rope? I'm asking. Has it gone back to the rope?
No, there is no snake in the beginning, Swami.
Yeah, but he experienced, no?
No, but that's in the experience.
In the mind.
What is that?
Imagine, Swamiji.
So he did not so now understand, he did not recognize the rope as a rope. This is called delusion. And then his mind projected a snake on the rope. This is illusion. Delusion is inside. Illusion is outside. Non-comprehension, forgetfulness of a thing as what it is inside. And then when we project upon it, that is outside. See? Exactly the same way. We have forgotten who we are and we are projecting what? I am the body, this world was before me. Jiv Jagat Ishwar is our projection of the mind. And then we are suffering on account of it, just like that fellow was suffering. And then we come to the scripture. Scripture says, all this is, leave it, you are Brahman. But we are so, just like that fellow, how can you say it's a rope, it's not a snake? See, I am frothing, I am about to die, my leg has become blue-black. It takes, the other fellow has to lift the snake, he has to show. But if you are not ready to see it, then who can help us? So Guru comes in our life, scriptures come in our life. Our faith comes in our life. Faith to know the ultimate without any support. That's why you are listening to these talks, because somewhere inside you the urge was there to know the ultimate without any dressing up. See? So then when the scriptures are saying that, see, this is the truth, in spite of the words, in spite of the individuality, not individuality, in spite of the thoughts. And we want to hold on. No, but how can it be? Then what do I have to do to get there? Why am I not reaching there? I have spent so many years to do this and still nothing is happening. Blah, 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 blah. Because we are not, it's not the fault of the teacher, it's not the fault of the scriptures. The shortcoming is in ourselves, because we are not accepting ourselves, not as the body. We are not accepting ourselves to be that infinite. We enjoy listening. Continue listening. But then, what about the rest of the 23 and a half hours? How many? 24, na? 22 and a half hours. What do you do in 22 and a half hours? If we are again living contrary to what we have heard in the satsang, which seems so right, so correct, so right, yes, that's what I am. And then again we sabotage it by living and completely diametrically opposite disposition for 22 and a half hours. Then it becomes a problem, because that momentum is not, as long as an individual I'm saying, the momentum is not getting generated. You need a critical thrust in order to get out of the gravity of the mind. Otherwise it will not be possible. And that thrust is, if we are considering ourselves to be the body, we come down, I am the mind. If we are considering ourselves to be the mind, I am the consciousness. If I am understanding that I am the consciousness, then I must, what is this? Who is this consciousness? What is this consciousness? Where is this consciousness? Tamas, Rajas, Sattva. From the Sattva, the flight is possible. You can break through the barrier of gravity. Otherwise, if 22 and a half hours is you're going back to tamas and living your whole day not in the disposition of how you are listening to this satsang, where you get the inkling, you know that you are that. Now we have to maintain that throughout. So listen to it again. Listen to satsangs again and again, morning, evening. Maybe listen to it if something is, if first time you hear, if it is not clear, listen another time. How does it matter? Important is our mind must remain in that atmosphere where it is not attracted or hooked by the world, by the phenomena. So it is like the appearance of the snake vision in the inert rope is a delusion alone, not in reality. So this Jeev Jagat Ishwar, understand, this phenomena that we are talking about, the snake is a phenomena on the rope. So what is the phenomena on the reality? Jeev Jagat Ishwar. Another way you can look at it, What is the phenomena? Waking, dream and deep sleep. These are the three phenomena. क्या हो गया यार? This is the phenomena. And as long as we are lost in this phenomena, then transcendence is not possible. This phenomena is not available in the reality, in the absolute self. From the standpoint of Paramatma, from the standpoint of the absolute reality, the phenomena has zero validity. Zero validity. Insignificant, it's not even worth mentioning it. Because it doesn't exist. How much time do you spend thinking about your shadow? How much time do you think? That much time you must spend in thinking about your birth, death, body, responsibilities, relationship, possessions, aspirations, ambitions. How much? Zero. Oh my God, then how will I live? Don't worry, life will be still lived. Life will be still lived through you. As long as this phenomena is there, the totality, the Lord will function through this. You just become empty. Have the courage to go be empty. Our fear is only in holding on to this phenomena and then and give it the name. Oh, isn't it my duty? Isn't it my responsibility? Isn't it my dharma? All bullshit. It's just a easy way out of not wanting to surrender. It's an easy way out in the name of dharma. Dharma, dharma, dharma. Yes, there is dharma. When you're thinking the names and forms are real, then the dharma is different. When you understand that you are the mind, then the dharma is different. When you understand that you are the jiva, then the dharma is different. And when you take the standpoint of Atma, then what is the dharma? Brahman becomes Brahman, that is the dharma. One without a second, that is the dharma. My dharma as a child was to study, to learn how to eat, so that the spoon went into my mouth, my fingers went into my mouth, not into my nose. I learned how to comb, I learned how to tie my shoelace, I learned how to cycle, I learned how to swim. That was your dharma at that time. That was your duty at that time. Are you still there or have you moved on? Then how come on this spiritual journey, how come we remain at the bottom level of possessions and relations? How come? How come we are not ready to transcend that? Even after attending so many satsangs. This question we must ask ourselves. Avrute sadasattvabhyam, avrute sadasattvabhyam, vaktavye bandha mokshane, vaktavye bandha mokshane, navrittir brahmana kachid, navrittir brahmana kachid, anya bhavad anavrutam, अन्याभावाद् अनावृतम् यद्यस्त्यद्वैतहानिः स्याद् यद्यस्त्यद्वैतहानिः स्याद् द्वैतं नो सहते श्रुतिः द्वैतं नो सहते श्रुतिः आवृते सदसत्वाभ्यां वक्तव्ये बन्धमोक्षणे नावृत्तिर्ब्रह्मणः काचिद् अन्याभावाद् अनावृतम् यद्यस्त्यद्वैतहानिः स्याद् द्वैतं नो सहते श्रुतिः. He says, the operation of the power of concealment of ignorance and its absence is called as bondage and liberation respectively. There cannot be any covering of the infinite Brahman because there is nothing else in it. Hence it is ever uncovered. If even Brahman can be covered by something else, the non-dual reality cannot be established, and the scriptures do not accept duality. The scriptures are talking in duality. They are utilizing duality, but their focus, goal, attention is only the non-dual substratum. So, the operation of the power of concealment and the absence of the power of concealment. When the concealment is on, the hypnosis is on, it is called bondage. When we are free of the hypnosis, have you ever been to a hypnotist? And when that power of hypnosis is over, power of concealment is cancelled, or it loses its power, then that is called liberation. The moment power of concealment, Maya, power of concealment, the projection or non-apprehension and misapprehension, the forgetfulness of reality and projection on the reality. We use these words: forgetfulness of the reality, projection of name and form on the reality. We have forgotten the water and we have projected a wave. Wave has a name and wave has a form, and we are lost in name and form. Same way here. We are lost in the body, we are lost in the thoughts, we are lost in concepts, we are lost in seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting. We are lost in individuality. All are names only, including absolute reality. It's a name only. Including that. You cannot call absolute reality as absolute reality, because no word can stick to it. It's the only one, and you can't even call it one, because if one is there, then the second comes about, and therefore it is said it is one without a second, so that we cancel the one also. There cannot be any covering of the infinite Brahman because there is nothing else in it. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. The reality is ever complete. It's ever full. Even if something has, imagine, if I have a bottle of water and I empty half of it into another glass, then I got some left over in the bottle and some water in the other glass. I don't have a full bottle of water anymore. But reality is not like that. How is it? if anything is taken out of the reality, what remains behind is also full, and what has come out, what you have taken out of it is also full. If you have taken an ornament out of the gold, then what remains behind is gold, and what you have taken out is also gold. Purnamada Purnamidam. Do you feel? Do you have the experience of that? As the waking dream and deep sleep is going through, as you are experiencing this Jeev Jagat Ishwar, do you see it as complete? Do you see the substratum? If we are obsessed with name and form, we will never be able to experience this. If we are the absolute truth, then there is no need to experience and comment. Because then, Maunam Vyakhyat Prakatyata Parabrahma Tattva Yavanam. Then there is only silence. Silence is the language. Because you can only speak about something which is other than you. And yet Mahatmas do speak. If someone comes and says whatever that question is put, or either there will be the response will be in silence, or the response will be in some other way, but there is no ownership of that answer. There is no ownership of that answer. So what is this absolute reality? That on which nothing can ever stick. Can the shadow stick on you? No. So whether there is a shadow or no shadow, it does not affect you at all. Same way, whether there is a phenomena or no phenomena, the absolute reality is unaffected. It is all as it is. Whether there is an ornament or no ornament, gold is gold. Whether there is a wave or no wave, water is water. Exactly the same way. Whether there is a phenomena of waking, dream, sleep coming and is there or not there, the reality is the same. And you are that. Tattvamasi. You are that. Because you know these three come and go every day. Don't you know? So that which comes and goes is the phenomena. So take the position. Don't allow anything to stick. And naturally, your natural disposition is that nothing can stick to you. From the eyes, there is expression of vision. It is not stuck to any form. It illuminates all the forms, but it is not stuck to any form. So also other senses, they are not stuck to their stimuli. You come to the mind is not stuck to the thoughts. Otherwise you will be thinking only one thing all the time, you go crazy. You will not be able to communicate at an empirical level. But this is your experience right now, even as I am speaking and you are listening. Your mind is not holding on, taking ownership of, or getting identified with. It is not possible only for the mind to get, हिंदी में बोलते हैं चिपकना, to get stick to the thoughts. It's not possible for the mind. So mind is also allowing the thoughts to come and go. That is its natural state. Similarly, the individual must realize. So after mind, we don't go to the individual. We come straight to the Atma. Then who is Atma? It also is not sticking to the phenomena of waking, dream, and sleep. It allows it to come and go. Just like the mind allows the thoughts to come and go. Just like the vision, hearing, smelling, tasting allows the stimuli to come and go. This is your natural state. Keep thinking about this, you will vanish. So take that position. Don't take the position of only being the waker. Take the position of the Atma. See, when I'm telling you this, that your vision is illuminating all the forms and it is not getting stuck to the forms. I don't know if I have mentioned this before, but did you know this before? Did you know that the mind does not get stuck to any thought? It is supporting all the thoughts, presence and absence of thoughts. Thoughts are the phenomena. So why do you consider yourself to be the owner of the phenomena? If nothing in your, neither the senses are holding on to anything, neither the mind is holding on to any thoughts, neither the intellect is holding on to any convictions, because the childhood convictions are given up, teenage convictions are given up if you have grown. Huh? So when you start observing, Arey yaar, ye to such, this is true, nothing is holding on to anything, nothing is sticking to anything, then I am the one. Unnecessarily I am getting stuck to only the waking state and taking it to be real. We are talking about liberation. We are not talking about solving anything here. We are talking about your natural state. So what will you give up? What will you let go? What will you let go? You have ever been complete. You have been complete, you are complete, and you will be complete. Even if you try, you cannot fall down. Then where will be falling down and getting up? In the phenomena. Now you want to live as a phenomena? Continue. But enjoy it. Enjoy it. Chalo bhi gir gaye. Acha. Chalo, please help everyone. I am fallen. Do the whole drama. Let everyone, let the whole world come and help you. Like yesterday, today is what? Wednesday. Yesterday we chanted Ganapati Atharva in some. So they learn Vedic chanting from me. So every year she does the beautiful puja and everything, and she invites for bhiksha. And for a change this time, because nobody can go to her house. Otherwise we chant the 108 times Ganapati Atharva. And we chanted it on the computer through the Zoom, and then when the prasad was given, oh my God, at least 5-6 different type of modak. Uklitse modak, fried modak, and then puran modak, and I don't know, coconut modak, beautiful things. I said, Amma, I'm missing. I should have been, I eat only this much, so much sweet you can't eat. But I just made her feel good. Today, automatically the packet came with all the modak. Her son came and dropped it outside the house. ड्रामा करो, सबको बिजी करके खुद मस्त रहो. ना उद्धव का लेना ना माधव का देना. Means even in this dialogue that is going on, neither I am teaching nor you are learning. Then what is going on? Leela is going on, phenomena is going on. Let it go on. You be the witness, you be the eternal one. You be the unaffected one. Anyway, you are practicing, not getting affected. During the satsang, ha ha hu hu. Afterwards, 22 and a half hours, no, you don't, nothing is there. So play that same game with your mind. Acha, acha, abhi, now it's doing this drama, now it's doing that drama. Don't take anything seriously. The moment you take anything seriously, that's where we are stuck. So the whole point in this verse was told that if even Brahman can be covered by something, if Brahman, the infinite, if it is concealed by something, covered by something, can be identified with something, is holding on to something, that cannot be the case of Brahman. That will be going against the Shrutis. I have given you enough examples. Water does not hold on to the wave. Gold does not hold on to the ornament. Mud does not hold on to the pot. Senses do not hold on to their stimuli. Mind does not hold on to the thoughts. Atma does not hold on to the waking, dream and sleep. Then where is this holding? Where is this ownership? If you have just now gone through this whole journey as I was speaking, then where is this identification? It is existing in its own absence. Identification. So when you say it is in my mind, mind is getting, we just told you mind does not get identified with any thought. We just showed it to you. Then who is getting identified? Identification is not possible only. Try as much as you may. Because if Brahman, if absolute reality holds on to something, then that something will be other than the absolute reality. And that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Don't think of it, oh my God, what a wonderful thought. No, we are talking about you. You are that absolute reality. This world is the absolute reality. There is nothing else but the absolute reality. Madatma sarvabhutatma tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Madatma, the individual Atma, sarvabhutatma. So Atma is the common. The individuality and the total is told as Mad and the Sarva. But the common denominator is Atma. So, you are that which have never, if you think logically, you cannot find a place where there is attachment possible. If attachment is not possible, can detachment be possible then? Because you can detach only when you are attached. So if attachment is only not possible, we just showed you. Water, gold, mud, senses, mind and Atma. None of them is attached. How did the Vivek Chudamani begin? Vivek, Vairagya, Shatka Sampatti, Mukshutvam. Now where are we? So when this satsang is going on, take the subjective approach. Whom we are talking about, every time the word absolute reality is spoken of, we are talking about the self that we are. We are not talking about some concept. We are not talking about an idea. We are not trying to convince you of anything. Conviction is only possible when through concepts. Self is not a concept. Self is the reality. So if even Brahman can be covered by something else, the non-dual reality cannot be established, and the scriptures do not accept duality. Scriptures do not accept duality because scripture's job is only one. What is that? To bring you to the threshold of the non-dual reality. The reason we say non-dual is only because we are lost in duality. We talk about the word as absolute reality only because we are caught up in relative reality. We talk about Sat only because we are caught up in Asat. We talk about Chit only because we are caught up in Achit. We talk about Ananda only because we are caught up in Dukkha, in misery. Therefore, we Satchit Ananda, the name scriptures give to that reality. But nothing can stick to that reality. Even the word reality cannot stick to that reality. And that is our essential nature. Any given moment, that is our natural state. Complete. Nothing lacking. Never attached. And therefore no detachment. Is the wave separate from water? No. Is the thought other than the mind? No. Is the phenomena, can the phenomena express independent of the substratum? No. Is the phenomena pervaded in and through by the substratum? Yes. Where will you escape? Where will you escape? There is nothing to escape. Individual is trying to find a way to escape. Go to the Himalayas, go into the caves, go to the ashram, get away from the family, do tapasya. This is the highest. Not everyone can digest what we are selling here. But if you are even able to appreciate, because first understanding and then abidance. Prefer only abidance. Bandham cha moksham cha mrushaiva moodha. Bandham cha moksham cha mrushaiva moodha. Buddher gunam vastu nikalpayanti. Buddher gunam vastu nikalpayanti. Druga vruttim megha krutam yatharavau. Druga vrutim megha krutam yatharavau. यतो द्वया सङ्गचिदेकमक्षरम् यतो द्वया सङ्गचिदेकमक्षरम् बन्धं च मोक्षं च मृषैव मूढा बुद्धेर्गुणं वस्तु निकल्पयन्ति दृगावृतिं मेघकृतां यथा रवौ यतो द्वया सङ्गचिदेकमक्षरम्. It says, bondage and liberation are the attributes of the intellect. Just as when the vision is covered by the clouds, it is said that the sun is covered. Similarly, the ignorant go on projecting about the self unnecessarily, because Brahman is ever non-dual and unattached. Yeah, so bondage and liberation are the attributes of the intellect. Just as when the vision is covered by the clouds, it is said that the sun is covered. Similarly, the ignorant go on projecting about the self unnecessarily, because Brahman is ever non-dual and unattached consciousness, one without a second and indestructible. So, now find out which category we fall into. If we are talking about, I want to become free, I want to be liberated, you come under the category of stupid people. It says, bandham cha moksham cha mrishaiva mudha. The stupid, the ignorant, they say there is bondage and liberation. Because they are accepting the phenomena to be the reality. Who are stupid people? Who accept the phenomena to be the reality. And how do you accept it? Through your mind and intellect. That's where the empirical knowledge takes place, by way of thoughts, convictions, ideas. Buddhir gunam vastuni kalpayanti. It is the intellect which is the quality of the intellect, the guna, the attribute of the intellect is to imagine. It is the intellect which imagines. It is the intellect which imagines waking, dream and deep sleep also. Similarly, this intellect is imagining that I am in bondage and I need liberation. लगे रहो मुन्ना भाई. See, Durga Vritti Megha Kritam Yatha Ravo. Then just to say, put it into context, they have taken an example. Just as when the vision is covered by the cloud, it is said that the sun is covered. Sun is ever present. Sun can never be covered. But only the clouds have come, and we say the sun has gone. I am depressed. Why? For last 1 week there was only rain and clouds and no sunshine. Today was so beautiful because the sun came out. Right? How do you know there were clouds and rain if it was not because of the sunlight? No, but the sun was not there. It was hiding. Is the self hiding? Is the self covered? So, if our attention can, during the daytime, if our attention, and even at night, if at this moment our attention can go to the sun and recognize the sun is always in its place, and the phenomena of day and night come and go, In the daytime, the sun is always in the sky or moving through the sky. If we and we are not able to see it, but we are able to see the clouds only because of the sunlight. Yeah. Sun is always there. I understand. Exactly. Now apply to yourself. Apply to yourself. What is covering the sun of the self? The self itself, if you consider that to be the sun, S-U-N, not S-O-N. What is covering it? Your imaginations.
Avidya.
Avidya. Avidya is not imagination. That's also a word, avidya. We have only projected it. Our intellect has come up thinking it is smart. And then to counteract it, it gives another imagination called liberation. But in the previous verse we told you, the self is ever the same. Just like here they are saying the sun is always there. No cloud can ever cover the cloud is only this much. Sun is so many thousands of kilometers big. The self is infinite. And a teeny mini thought, a teeny mini idea, a word called ignorance. How many alphabets are I-G-N-O-R-A? 9 alphabets. And that is able to cover this infinite self. Or simple, I don't know. I-D-O-N-T-K-N-O. Also 9 alphabets. Also 9 alphabets. I don't know. This one sentence is able to cover the infinite self. Think. So here what the teacher is telling, if you are able to get it, that just as when a vision is covered by the cloud, we say, that is in a normal parlance, this is how we speak, we say that the sun is covered. Similarly, the ignorant fellow also goes on projecting, talking about, imagining about the self unnecessarily, and say that the self is hidden, the self is covered, self is under the hypnosis, the self is under the covered by the maya, the self is in the when we break through the granthi, hridaya granthi, only when we break through the bondage, the what do you call, the avidya kama karma, or desh kala vastu, space, time and objectivity not, then we will be able to know it. We have only created space, time, objectivity and made it into a problem by ownership. We have only created avidya kama karma, ignorance, desire and action. And now we want to, what we have created, now we want to undo it. We have only created a husband, and now we want to remove the husband. Not possible. You are always the man. Similarly, you are always the infinite reality. Don't get lost in these wrong notions. If we are saying that I am in bondage, I am in relationship, I cannot, if I say that I cannot sleep without my bed, then where is your attention? What have you accepted yourself to be? Not even the body, you have accepted yourself to be the bed, my bed. I feel lost if my family is not around me. Then what have you considered yourself to be? The father or the daughter or the mother or whatever the role that you are taken that too seriously. If every passing thing invokes a emotional response, then you consider yourself to be the mind. Everything needs to be worked out. You are the intellect. Do not come down. Let the whole world go to dogs. Let the whole world go to dogs. Have the courage to live as the self. Live as the self, in the self, for the self. And therefore it is said that out of millions, maybe one is there who walks this path. Many people appreciate, many people look up to such people, look up to the great masters who have come in the past. Because somewhere deep within, we know that is our true nature. We appreciate it. But because of the old habit, the baggage that we are carrying, imaginary baggage, we are unable to drop that baggage. And how to drop that baggage? Take the position. Take the position of the infinite. And in this way, because Brahman is ever non-dual and unattached consciousness, as I told you before, what was your natural state? Senses are not attached, mind is not attached, Atma is not attached. So when we use this word that Brahman is ever non-dual and unattached, not only unattached, it's neither attached nor unattached. Because it is the only thing there is. If we say it is attached or unattached, we are already presupposing there is something from which it has to unattach itself. So if you take it subjectively, if we take this statement that the Brahman is unattached consciousness and that I am, then live like that in this world without any attachment, living every moment fully 100% happily, joyfully, with inspiration, because where there is joy there is inspiration. Don't dwell in the past, don't dwell into the future. Live every moment. Whatever life presents you, do it joyfully and move on. Next. Something will be coming next moment. That's not your choice. There's no option there. Something will always come. Unattached consciousness. As we live, and therefore Bhagavad Gita says that live, keep the mind equanimous. Keep an equanimous attitude. Sukha dukkha samay kritva labha labho jaya jayo. In and through all the opposites that the world is throwing at us, let us maintain an equanimous attitude. Where we are neither too involved, this is at the beginning stages, neither we are too involved nor we are too withdrawn. Maintain a balance. What will happen as a result of that balance? You are the witness. Nothing is affecting you. See, all these statements which are in this final advice, what we are reading for so many classes, it's going on. Understand, this fellow, this seeker has reached, when we began the text, he was full of doubts. He asked six, 7 questions. And in answer to that questions is the entire Vivek Chudamani. So he was confused. Confusion is tamasic or rajasic. Now he has reached the sattva and he has gone beyond the sattva. He has tasted, he has glimpsed. See? So do not, one without a second and indestructible. This self that I am, this is indestructible. It doesn't come and go. Man is indestructible. Just because man is expressing as husband also, son also, father also, man has not become 3. Those 3 are only superimpositions, projections, imaginations out of him, which other have superimposed on him. And for all worldly purpose, even after you come to know that you are the man, you will continue to behave as a husband to your wife, you will continue to behave as a father to your children, you will continue to behave as son to your mother. Even you come to know you are man. Now you are not disturbed by those 3 roles. But the moment you come in front of a mother, you will still be a son. At the phenomenal level. Important thing is, in and through our life, through this phenomena of life, are we able to take the position of that one without a second? The more, initially it is a conviction, and as we keep attempting that, keep falling into that, falling back into ourselves, our original self, again and again and again. As I told you in this exercise, we'll just conclude. As I told you, nothing is ever attached to anything. So you are not attached. Take that and sit, contemplate. Contemplate even while you are walking, driving, whatever you are doing. Keep that position. You are not attached to anything. You are the substratum. Slowly, slowly it will, well, not slowly, when it happens, it happens. For some it happens slowly, for some it happens boom, one moment, and it's the next moment you are there. Sleep, we may say sleep is coming slowly because we go in, we come out, we go in, we come out, and then we fall deeply into sleep. So like that, this comes, these are the various stages for the individual, which are given in the Vivek, in Yoga Vasishta. So just like sometimes our sleep is still, is not deep, so we can be disturbed. So here the student, the final advice is being given to this person who is not abiding deeply in his essential nature. He's taking a dip coming out, getting a dip coming out, so that he doesn't fall again back into the world, so that his abidance becomes concretized, solidified once and for all. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om. Hari Om.
Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, take care.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Take care.
Joy,
72.
10. Exit screen. Deepika.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om Swamiji.
Hari Om, Surendran. Take care.
Swamiji, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Yes.
What is tomorrow?
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday. Yes. I'm forgetting the days. Yes. Okay. Catch you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Hari Om Swamiji.
See you, Bhageshri, Saket.
Bye.
Bye.